Hello and welcome to Business Reporter's Digital Transformation Discussion. I'm Alistair Greener. Efficiency, speed and accuracy can save money and impress clients, so understandably, all companies see them as valuable resources. But not all companies have them. Meanwhile, customer expectations are increasing. Most expect efficient customized service, which means the gap between capability and demand is growing. So how can you learn to be fast, responsive and accurate at the same time? Well, Swiss Post Solutions believe that these treasures are buried underneath the data we often already have but fail to use efficiently. How do we turn this data into something we can use? This is what we're going to discuss today with Lucas Herbison, Head of Solution Development and Digital Transformation at Swiss Post Solutions. Good morning.
Good morning.
What are the current trends when it comes to customer expectations?
Yeah, customers today, they want speed. They want everything immediately. They want to have it from anywhere, anytime. And of course, everybody wants to get VIP treatment. And for companies today, it's quite difficult to fulfill these expectations. And it is also difficult to identify which customers are important to you or not.
Where are the typical areas where challenges arise? I'm thinking particularly where customer expectations and what they actually receive in customer service, there's a big gap between them. What sort of examples are there for that?
Companies, of course, they try to push their customers to communicate with them in a structured manner, to fill out forms and so on. On the front end, customers, they like to communicate in a natural way. They like to send emails. They like to use the phone. They don't want to know how a company is organized or how a process works to get something resolved. And this is one of the gaps everybody is seeing. On the other side, if you take, for example, insurance companies with claims management, it's quite difficult. So usually customers pay their bill for quite a while and they don't want to communicate with the insurance company because there is nothing to be communicated. And then if there is a claim, the company has a one-time chance to make it right, because if they make it wrong at that time, they're going to generate quite a bad customer experience.
Let's look at automation for a second. In your view, what's the criteria for the successful implementation of automation? And likewise, what is your approach at Swiss Post Solutions to be able to do that?
So first you start with the customer view. What does the customer want? What does the customer expect? And then you look at your business process end to end, how you would like to have it, how you have it today, and where you can automate or where you can improve. Then you also have to look at how to bring in new technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, data analytics, and so on in order to speed up your process and to make it successful.
When we look towards, everything that you're talking about, it sounds very straightforward. And especially when it comes to data, though, there's sometimes a bit of a challenge with that because we can collect lots of data. It's very straightforward. But then actually analyzing and using that data, especially unstructured data, that becomes a real challenge. How do you overcome that?
If you look at data analytics and automation, both depends on structured digital data. Now, if we look at the data around us, the majority of the data is not structured. So we're looking at emails, we're looking at pictures, we're looking at movies, we're also looking at speech. And that's exactly how people communicate and what they send around. Now, the first step is you need to structure the data. And in order to put unstructured data into structured content, especially in the document input, in document management area, we are using artificial intelligence. So this allows us to understand what the customer wants. Once we have the intent of the customer, we also know what needs to be extracted from this information. Now we have the option, we can either fully automate the process, which is great, or we can deliver all the collected information centralized to a person so that this person can make a fast decision.
Now that's the theory. What about the actual practice? So let's say, for example, I'm a potential client, I come to you, I ask for your help. Talk me through the process. What's going to happen?
So we always start with an automation assessment. So first we look at your business process on a high level and we make then a high level business case. So that's something we try to do as lean as possible, so without having a lot of efforts from both sides. Once this is positive, we're going to get into a detailed analysis where we then have a future process. We also have a proposal on the business case and we have a proposal how we're going to get from your actual process to the future.
And when it comes to the implementation, can you guarantee that everything's going to be able to be run smoothly? Are you able to do like a pressure test before it's fully implemented?
Yeah, with these technologies, it's a bit difficult to do testing because we need real-time data, because you cannot actually get the variety you would have in a real-life environment. What we do is we do proof of concepts, we do testing on specific areas with a limited set of data so that we know it works. And of course, as we have done this several times, we have the experts and quite some know-how so that we can tell upfront what is possible and what not.
Transformation, of course, is just the beginning of the change. You then have to work with your management, your teams. How can you help us, if I'm one of your potential customers, in the future, rather than just the actual installation of the system?
So we are a business process outsourcing company. Therefore, we are also operating the processes or parts of the processes. We can bring in people to do the manual part of the work. We can bring them in onshore, but we also have offshore resources. And because we are operating the case, we are also making sure that we do not automate things that are not worth automating, and that at the end of the day, it's a win-win for both sides.
For any organization to go through such a digital transformation as this, it's a huge task for them to go through. Give us some idea of the tangible benefits that they will get to go through these changes.
Of course, the first tangible benefit is the reduction of the cost, but this also allows you to speed up the process and to increase the quality, which then leads to a higher customer experience, which will be much more important also in the future. And then, of course, because you are turning the unstructured data into structured data, you have a lot of information that you can use in your data analytics part. And this allows you to either identify flaws in the process much faster and also identify new customer needs quickly.
We know that the world is changing at an enormous rate, and especially when it comes to technology. So what kind of assurances can you give us that the technology you're going to implement today will work in the future? How will you keep up with future changes?
So for us, it's important to use a flexible architecture because, to be honest, whatever artificial intelligence system we are using today, no one can tell you if it's the right one in 2 years. So it's not about choosing the best technology for the next 10 years. It's about choosing an architecture that allows you to replace technologies if needed in a fast and easy manner.
We've talked a lot in this interview about the need for transformation, the benefits of transformation, and how that transformation comes about. For any key decision makers who are watching this interview, what key messages would you like them to remember?
First of all, look at your customer and your customer needs, and also at your business process end to end. Second is define your goals. So this is really what you want to achieve. And then also look at the right mix of people, processes, and technology.
Well, we know the importance of getting digital transformation right couldn't be bigger. And it's been really interesting to get an insight into how it can be done. So Lukas Herwijsen from Swiss Post Solutions, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for having me.